guys that we're doing the interactive advanced concept, making elephant toothpaste, pouring yeast and hot water into hydrogen peroxide, food coloring, and dish soap. Wow, so immediately it starts to foam and it is slowly rising from the water bottle. If I pour a little more, it would go all over. Oh, there it goes. I had green dye and green dish soap, so that's why the foam is mainly green. I was creating a lot of foam. It's still going. See, so there is my elephant toothpaste that was created. Hi guys, so as you can see before, I did the interactive advanced concept and I made elephant toothpaste. And in order to make elephant toothpaste, I used hydrogen peroxide, food coloring, yeast, and dish soap. As you can see in the video, I had to add the hydrogen peroxide into the water bottle, and then I added a few drops of dish soap, and last I added a few drops of food coloring to the cup. I then added yeast and hot water to another separate cup and mixed it gradually. And then I poured the water and the yeast into the water bottle and waited for the foam to rise. Within a few seconds, as you saw, the foam was created and it started to rise pretty fast. And within a few seconds, it came spilling out over the water bottle. And now, as you can see, the color of the foam was green because I used green food coloring and I also had green dish soap. So that's probably why it came out pretty green. And the reason behind the foam and why it was created, because the foam that was created caused this reaction because each tiny foam bubble is filled with oxygen, and the yeast that I added to the water bottle sort of acted as a catalyst, and the yeast removed the oxygen from the hydrogen peroxide. And since it did this really fast, it created lots of foam within 10 seconds or less. So a catalyst is a substance that speeds up the rate of a reaction without affecting or changing the products. And hydrogen peroxide is a molecule made up of hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms. And its chemical formula is 2H2O2. And the reaction that took place broke down the hydrogen peroxide into two parts, which are water and oxygen. And then the oxygen-filled bubbles, which make up the foam, are really the remainder of what happens when the hydrogen peroxide breaks down into the water, or H2O, and oxygen, O2. And when I felt the water bottle, it felt a little bit warmer. So that's how I knew it was an exothermic reaction. And exothermic reaction is a chemical reaction that releases energy through light or heat. So heat was released. And an exothermic reaction was created, and that's why the water bottle became warm. And the chemical reaction that occurred was 2H2O2 became 2H2O plus O2. And the reaction can be called a decomposition reaction because it's when a chemical that consists of one molecule gets broken down into two different smaller molecules. So the hydrogen peroxide was broken down into the water and the oxygen, the two smaller molecules. And the foam that was produced, as you can see here, it's just soap, water, and oxygen. So it definitely was an interesting lab that was not hard to do. It didn't take a lot of material or ingredients for the foam to be created. And when it first started pouring out, it looked like toothpaste coming out of a bottle. And it's an easy lab to do because there's not a lot of steps involved. And once you mix the two ingredients, the foam, comes out right away. So a couple of factors that would affect this reaction would probably be the amount of yeast or the amount of hydrogen peroxide used. Also, the percent of hydrogen peroxide probably would affect the reaction. For me, I used 3% because when I went to the store, I could not find 10%. So I wasn't sure if it wasn't going to work or wasn't going to make enough foam. But maybe because I used the 3, not that much foam was created. Maybe if I used the 10, it would have really came spewing out. So that probably definitely could have been a factor that affected the amount of foam created or how fast the foam poured out of the water bottle. But yeah, that's it. As you can see, the lab, it was not hard to make elephant toothpaste, and it definitely was a fun and interesting